Welcome back to Charter California Edition. I'm Brad Poerance, and we are joined by Linda Seeley. She is a board member with San Luis Obispo Mothers for Peace. As you may know, recently an organization released a report. It was put out by the World Business Academy, which talked about Diablo Canyon. That report was quite damning and suggested that Diablo Canyon is unsafe for the residents of San Luis Obispo County. We sought the epidemiologist of the county to join us. She declined. So now we are joined today by Linda Seeley, and I thank you for joining us. We know that the San Onofre nuclear plant shut down as a result of some concerns, a release of radiation. What can you tell us about that and how it relates to Diablo?
Well, they had installed new steam generators at San Onofre, and the tubes, there are like 80,000 tubes inside of each steam generator, and the tubes were shaking because they had changed the design of the steam generators without getting permission to do that from the NRC, and they didn't function properly. And because of the shaking of the tubes, it was releasing radioactive steam.
And that NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, did come in.
Correct.
And gave them a whooping.
That's
and
right.
Now the owners of San Onofre have voluntarily shut down.
Because they realized how expensive it would be to replace their steam generators, which were only replaced 2 years ago, I think, at a cost of $800 million.
Right. So there is one nuclear plant left in California. That is Diablo Canyon.
That's right.
In San Luis Obispo County.
Yes.
It is the largest employer in the county,
That's
largest
correct.
property tax base in the county. And so it presents challenges for you, I'm sure,
Absolutely.
when your organization comes out and says we should shut down
That's
Diablo
right.
Canyon.
How dare we?
How dare you?
How dare we?
But why is it, based upon the study, you believe that this power plant should be shut down?
Well, we don't believe the power plant should be shut down based upon this study.
Okay.
We have believed the power plant should be shut down for 32 years.
Okay.
We think it should not have been built in the first place.
Okay.
But
the study adds fuel to the fire?
Adds fuel to the fire, absolutely. And we do not consider ourselves to be experts in epidemiology or public health, because we're not. And so our response, because our county health department absolutely blew this study off and said it was, quote, junk science.
They did.
And they...
But before we talk about the county's response, tell us what the study did say, though.
Oh, it said that there was a discernible increase in breast cancer, thyroid cancer, melanoma, and very low birth weight babies after the time that Diablo Canyon opened.
Low birth weight, child adolescent cancer mortality increases.
Oh, right.
The county went from a relatively low cancer to a high cancer county. Right. I mean, the report is a little scary.
It's very troubling. So what we say to the county health department is, okay, maybe you don't like this study. Maybe you don't like or approve of the way it was done. Fine. Then how about doing another one? Because the county, we asked them in 1975 to conduct a baseline study before the plant opened of radiation levels in this county, and they never responded to us. They did not do a study. This is the first time any study has been done about radiological releases from Diablo Canyon.
When we come back, I want to talk more about this and talk about the irony behind this study, in that most of the discussion recently around Diablo has focused on earthquake safety.
That's right.
And so it's quite ironic that this study has come out in the background of earthquake concerns. For our viewers on HLN, we thank you so much for joining us. For our other viewers, we'll be right back with Linda Seeley. So Linda, let's continue this conversation, because it is a fascinating one in light of the concerns that were being discussed with the Fukushima earthquake in Japan. There had been a move to create a grand study. The California Coastal Commission got involved. That kind of got put to a halt. And so talk to us about all the moving parts here.
Oh man, there are so many moving parts. The issues around Diablo are, I would say, three serious issues. One is the seismic issues.
Right.
Diablo is built at the intersection of at least 13 earthquake faults. Two of those earthquake faults are major, the shoreline fault and the Hosgri fault.
And the Hosgri we knew about. The shoreline we just found.
That's right.
Ironically speaking.
Exactly. And then other faults have been found behind the plant on land, not offshore, but that seem to intersect into the shoreline fault or with the shoreline fault. No, a former NRC, the resident inspector at Diablo Canyon, wrote an opinion in December of 2011 stating that with using his analysis of the newly discovered shoreline fault and these two other faults, San Luis Bay Fault and Los Osos Valley Fault, that if there were an earthquake involving the three of these at the same time, even though it were a lower level
on the Richter scale.
On the Richter scale, it could cause significant ground movement that could make the critical backup safety systems at Diablo Canyon not function. And he, interestingly, they say this had nothing to do with his report, but he was shortly after that transferred to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So
let me ask about the county.
Okay.
Because the county did come out against the report, as you said, calling it junk science.
Right.
Fundamentally flawed.
Right.
The distinctions they made were that the study did not consider that San Luis County is older than other counties.
That's
is whiter
right.
than other counties. Again, I'm not commenting.
Right.
I'm reporting back.
Right.
What are your thoughts on their response about it being an older and wider county, and therefore we're going to see more cancers?
Right.
Because people of Anglo descent will have more melanomas,
right.
and people who are older, just by definition,
right.
will get more cancers.
Well, that's patently not true. The study was age adjusted,
okay.
and it was ethnically adjusted. Those are two false claims that the health department made. I have no knowledge of why they made those claims.
And I remind our viewers, we did invite the health department to
right.
join us, and Ann McDowell, the epidemiologist for the health department, declined.
Right.
And so you're joining us today. So in light of the loggerheads that the organizations seem to be at, the county, Mothers for Peace,
right.
the World Business Academy, where does a resident of the county go from here, of the Central Coast go from here?
What we are doing now, along with the World Business Academy, is calling for our state senators to launch an investigation in the Environmental and Public Works Committee.
Senator Bill Monning, I presume?
Senator Bill Monning and Senator
Fran Pavley?
No, from Santa Barbara.
Hannah Beth Jackson.
Hannah Beth Jackson.
Yes.
Right. And Hannah Beth is behind it, and we are speaking with Bill Monning today to try to get his endorsement
right.
for this.
And what do you hope will happen?
Well, we hope that it will. We can shed more light. You know, that perhaps if they can explore the report more thoroughly. If they don't like the report, maybe they'll commission another report that they consider to be more independent.
So what would you tell a resident today?
Right to your state senator.
But should we live in San Luis Obispo County? It is supposedly, one of the best places in the world to live.
Right, and it is one of the best
right.
places to live because of the people. Diablo Canyon makes it a less safe place to live, and yet I live here, and I live here because I love it, because I call it home, and because I want to shut down Diablo Canyon because it's not safe for it to be there for all of these years, this aging, decrepit, old nuclear power plant at the edge of a huge ocean on 13 earthquake faults, leaking radiation every day.
Her name is Linda Seeley with San Luis Obispo Mothers for Peace. I'm Brad Poerance. It's Charter California Edition.